Ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans around the world, and especially the proud supporters watching from the Philippines, this is a moment bigger than any single match. What we are witnessing is not just another tournament storyline, but a historic turning point in Asian tennis. While fans focus on matchups, scorelines, and first-round predictions at the Australian Open, a major victory has already been secured behind the scenes. This week is not about speculation or hope. It is about certainty. Alexandra Eala is on the verge of achieving something unprecedented, and the numbers make it unavoidable. Regardless of the result of her upcoming match against Alicia Parks, Alexandra Eala is virtually guaranteed to rise to a career-high WTA ranking of world number 43 on Monday, January 19, 2026. This outcome is not based on emotion or fan optimism, but on the fixed mathematics of the WTA ranking system. Win or lose, her position is locked in. By reaching this ranking, she becomes the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history, breaking her own record and setting a new benchmark for Philippine tennis on the global stage. The reason lies in how the WTA rankings work. Points are calculated on a rolling 52-week system, meaning players must defend what they earned the previous year or lose those points. At the 2025 Australian Open, Eala exited early in the qualifying rounds and earned only 2 points. That is all she is defending this year. In contrast, her strong performances over the past season have earned her direct entry into the main draw, which guarantees her at least 10 points simply for participating. As a result, she gains far more than she loses before playing a single point. At the same time, several players ranked above her are defending large point totals from deep runs last year. Names like Mira Andreeva, Amanda Anisimova, and Linda Noskova face heavy pressure to repeat past success. Any early loss causes their points to expire, pushing them down the rankings. As they drop, Eala rises. This contrast, others falling due to past results while Eala climbs through consistency and momentum, creates the perfect opportunity. Her recent semi-final run in Auckland confirms her progress and proves she now belongs among the elite. World. Number 43 is not just a ranking. It is a statement that Philippine tennis is no longer just present on the world stage. It is competitive. We are dangerous floaters. We are the opponents the top 10 players quietly hope to avoid in the first round. And don't let the skeptics fool you. This rise is not luck. This ascent was forged through years of discipline at the Rafa Nadal Academy, paid for with sweat, sacrifice, and relentless belief since Alex was a child. On Monday, the sun rises on a new era. The Philippines will wake up with a world number, 43 tennis player. And here's the part that makes this even bigger. If Alex Eala defeats Alicia Parks, she doesn't just hold that position, she climbs higher. She breaks into the top 40 and starts knocking on the door of the top 30. But the East. Real headline today, the breaking news we are dissecting right now, is that the safety net is already in place. The floor has been raised. The victory begins before the first ball is even struck. The world is shocked. Analysts are scrambling to update their projections, but for those who have followed this journey closely, this moment feels inevitable. Take a breath, because this is about more than a match. It is about carving the Philippines permanently onto the global tennis map. This is the hook. This is the introduction, and we are just getting started. Now, let's move beyond the headlines and into the mechanics, because to truly understand the magnitude of what Alex has achieved, we need to understand the battlefield she is competing on. Tennis rankings can be confusing for casual fans. Unlike team sports where wins and losses directly affect standings, tennis operates on a rolling 52-week ranking system. Imagine your ranking points as water in a bucket, but the bucket has a hole at the bottom. Every week, the points you earned exactly 52 weeks ago leak out. To climb, you must consistently pour in more than what is draining away. This is where many players from developing tennis nations struggle. They earn points, but can't sustain the travel, coaching, or consistency required to replace them year after year. This is where Alex has mastered the system. The key lies in the defending points scenario. At the 2025 Australian Open, Alex was still in a developmental phase. She competed in the qualifying rounds, which are a brutal gauntlet where players must win 3 matches just to reach the main draw. That year, she exited in the first round of qualifying, earning just 2 ranking points. Those 2 points are what the WTA system considers her defense this week, and they are about to expire. Fast forward to January 2026, and the picture is completely different. Alex is no longer a qualifier hopeful. She is a main draw entrant by merit. The moment her name appears in the round of a 128, the rules change. At a Grand Slam, main draw participation guarantees a minimum of 10 points. So the math is simple. 2 points drop off, 10 points are added, resulting in a net gain of 8 points before she even plays a rally. Now look at the players around her in the rankings, and this is where the shock factor comes in. The ranking table is a ladder, and for someone to rise, others usually have to fall. Alex is surrounded by exceptional players, names like Mira Andreeva, Amanda Anisimova, and Linda Noskova, but they are carrying the burden of their past success. If a player reached the round of 16 at last year's Australian Open, they earned roughly 240 points. That means this week they are defending all 240. If they lose in the first round this year, they receive just 10 points. That's a net loss of around 230 points in a single week. Compare that to Alex's situation. While others are hemorrhaging points, she is gaining 8 simply by showing up. That contrast, players collapsing under expired success while Alex climbs through consistency, is the mathematical engine driving her rise to world number 43. For her rivals, the math can be brutal. A first-round loss could mean a drop of nearly 230 points, and that massive swing is what creates a vacuum effect in the rankings. As talented players fail to replicate the deep runs they made a year ago, they slide rapidly down the ladder. And as they fall, Alexandra Eala, steady, composed, and quietly gaining, surges past them. It's like cruising in the fast lane while the cars beside you slam on the brakes. That is why this projection is so confident. It isn't guesswork, it's accounting. But this story isn't just about numbers. It's about merit. Alex is in position to capitalize on this moment because she earned it through consistency. You don't pass falling stars unless you've built a strong foundation, and her recent semifinal run in Auckland was the catalyst. Reaching the final, 4 of a WTA tournament injected a surge of live points into her ranking, pushed her into the top 50, and set the stage for this breakthrough. That run was a warning shot to the tour. It proved that her training at the Rafa Nadal Academy wasn't just preparation, it was transformation. And then there's the number itself, 43. Why does it matter? In professional tennis, ranking is not just prestige, it's a passport. Outside the top 100, players fight for survival, grinding through qualifiers, smaller tournaments, long travel schedules, and limited prize money. It's physically and financially draining. But inside the top 50, everything changes. A ranking of world number 43 means direct entry into the biggest stages in the sport. When Roland Garros begins, Alex is in. When Wimbledon starts, she's in. When the US Open arrives, she's in. No qualifying rounds, no extra matches, no wasted energy. That advantage compounds over time. Skipping qualifiers means a fresher body, sharper focus, and a higher probability of winning early rounds, which leads to more points, more earnings, and more momentum. Success feeds on itself. By reaching number 43, Alexandra Eala has unlocked the premium tier of the WTA Tour. That ranking also places her in one of the most dangerous zones in tennis. The top 32 players are seeded and protected in the draw, but those ranked between 33 and 50 are the floaters, the unseeded threats. These are the players no one wants to see in the first round. If you're a world number 1 like Iga Swiatek or Aryna Sabalenka, and you open the draw to find Alexandra Eala at number 43 across the net, that's not a comfortable start. That's a landmine. It signals a match against someone who belongs on the big stage and has nothing to lose. Alex has now become the kind of opponent the giants of the game quietly fear. That brings us to her upcoming match against Alicia Parks. Yes, the ranking rise is secure regardless of the result, but that doesn't make this match insignificant. Far from it. Parks is a dangerous opponent with a powerful serve, but Alex carries momentum into this battle. If she wins, the math accelerates dramatically. The modest 8-point gain turns into 70 or more, pushing her toward the top 35 and putting future Grand Slam seeding within reach. Just as important is the psychological edge. Imagine stepping onto the court knowing that even in defeat, you've already achieved a career-high ranking. That freedom removes desperation. It allows Alex to swing with confidence, not fear. This is part of the shock factor experts didn't anticipate. Many expected a slow, grinding climb through 2026, perhaps a top 50 breakthrough by year's end. Instead, Alex has accelerated the timeline. She's skipped the queue. And in doing so, she's shattered the long-standing ceiling of Philippine tennis. For years, world number 49 was considered the peak. That was the limit of what seemed possible. Now, that ceiling is gone. For years, that ceiling felt almost cultural. We knew we were good at boxing, we knew we could compete in basketball. But tennis was seen as a sport dominated by Europeans and Americans. That belief has now been shattered by rising to world number 43. Alex Eala hasn't just broken a record, she has expanded the imagination of an entire nation. She has shown every young kid holding a racket in Manila, in Cebu, in Davao, that the top 50 is not a fantasy. It is a destination. Every point she earns is a strike against doubt. Every ranking spot she climbs is proof that Filipinos belong in global individual sports. We've seen our flag in New York at the US Open Juniors, in Paris, in London. But now we are seeing it not as a hopeful participant, but as a true contender. The influence of her training at the Rafa Nadal Academy cannot be overstated. You don't just learn how to hit a tennis ball there, you learn how to think like a champion. You develop grit, discipline, and a relentless competitive spirit. You can see it in Alex's eyes and in the way she constructs points. She is no longer playing junior tennis. She is playing intelligent, strategic, top 50 professional tennis. And as the live rankings continue to shift hour by hour, the conclusion becomes undeniable. Monday, January 19th, 2026, is a red-letter day. It is a milestone for Philippine sports. The convergence of her consistency, the expiration of her rivals, points, and the mechanics of the 52-week ranking system has created a perfect moment of triumph. The world may be shocked, but when talent meets that level of work ethic, shocking results are simply inevitable. This brings us to the final realization, the thought we should all carry as the Australian Open unfolds. We often get lost in scoreboards, in aces and unforced errors, celebrating wins and mourning losses. But sometimes, in the heat of individual matches, we miss the larger war being won. What Alex has achieved by securing world number 43 before the tournament even concludes is exactly that, a war won. This is not just about a game, it is about rewriting history. It is about planting the Philippine flag firmly in ground, once believed to be too distant, too difficult, too unreachable. Remember the skeptics who said a Filipino could never crack the top 100? Then they said the top 50 was impossible. Now they are silent. The numbers speak louder than doubt ever could. World number 43 sounds good, but understand this clearly. It is not the finish line, it is the starting line. When Alex wakes up next Monday and sees that number beside her name, it won't signal rest. It will fuel the next climb. If 43 is possible, why not 30? If 30 is possible, why not 20? Why not the top 10? The doors are now open. The exhausting qualifying rounds are behind her. The path has never been clearer. She has entered the fast lane, and the engine is just warming up. So, whether she defeats Alicia Parks or not, the victory is already ours. History has been written. To every Filipino who has ever felt pride seeing one of our own on the global stage, cherish this moment. We are witnessing the birth of a legacy. The Australian Open is only the backdrop. The real story is the rise of a queen. The real story is that the Philippines has arrived, and we are not going anywhere.